Right, so just waiting for this to set up. Always has a little delay, so bear with me before we go ahead with our 5 days, 5th day of the 12 stories of food for hope and inspiration. So today is a few stories all together, but all about generosity. And generosity can take many forms. In 2020, for instance, the biggest generosity, I think, was sharing a precious gift. I'm going to show you the most precious gift of 2020 that I received this year. It is this beautifully wrapped toilet roll. If you share your toilet roll or the last toilet roll rather than the last Rolo, you're on a winner. Look how beautifully presented. It is a real gift, together with some toilet bombs that smell absolutely glorious. Actually, there's rosemary in there, so there's a first food connection in a lovely little gift bag. Other than Millie's Chris Dingle from day one, I think this has to be my favorite Christmas gift this year, a gift of generosity. And I thank you, Liz. I'll do a shout out underneath the post today for this wonderful, delightful little gift. The next biggest gift of generosity this year, I think, has been the sharing of food. And I've touched on this a couple of times in some of my other stories. But this year has really shown that apart from hoarding loo rolls, people have been hoarding food, rightly or wrongly. I'd say wrongly, but people have been hoarding food because we're suddenly back, potentially, or many people are, to a sense of fear for the most basic needs of our family. And other than toilet roll, that is food. It's a primal need. We need food. Remember Roxanne in my story the other day about sausage roll in the supermarket where she needed to make a decision? We're back to the basic needs of food rather than the frivolity of it that we were used to before. In the UK in particular, the combination of COVID, Brexit, and currently we have areas being flooded. We have a forecast, and in some areas it already exists, of ice and snow. And I was watching the news yesterday and this morning, and I mean, there is a risk that in some of those areas, food lorries cannot get to, or even lorries in general, cannot get to deliver online deliveries to people's homes. And many of people, including myself, have been relying on that. Those lorries might not get through to supermarkets. So the generosity comes in to times when we need to think of others even more than ever. The snow and ice in particular reminds me of when I was literally snowed in about 10 years ago. And on the first couple of days, it was great. It was light snow, and I saw young deer outside my window downstairs, and it was, oh, this is lovely. This is absolutely lovely. And then it kept snowing, and it kept snowing, and it kept snowing. And I told you in day one that I live in a small sort of community, and our road here is not one of the formal roads that's being looked after by the council. So the council doesn't sweep our roads, and we weren't prepared for this with salt and all this kind of thing. I was literally snowed in, I think from early December all the way through Christmas and New Year into early January. What do? You make do with what you've got in your cupboards and your fridge and your freezer, just like many of us are doing now. Ready, steady, cook every single day. Thankfully, I'm always quite well stocked up, a little bit too much. I've learned from that. And I made some wonderful meals. I actually made some awesome, I mean, the fish pie that I made from things I found in the freezer, etc., was amazing. Fresh veg. Oh my God, I missed fresh veg. Towards the end, a few of the neighbours who had a 4x4 that could finally get to the shops asked around the neighbours saying, well, does anyone need anything? Because I'm going to do a shop. Do you need milk, eggs? Very familiar to what I talked about the other day, right? What I and some others have been doing for our little communities. Do you need anything? Can I help? Sadly, I remember pictures of shelves in the supermarket where there was literally one sprout left on the shelf. It would have been a sprout, right? Because again, the lorries couldn't get to the supermarkets to stock up, let alone get to the customers. And I'm feeling a little bit like some of that is possibly going on for us now. But thank heavens for little communities that come together to help, to share. Generosity. Generosity comes in many, many forms. I have a friend I was going into business with, a very talented chef. He ran a wedding catering company, and we were going to go into business. What can I say? If COVID had happened and this had gone through, I assume, to be honest, that business would have been on its arse, really, not to put a finer point to it. Frankly, he sold out that business and he moved on in different ways, and I've moved on in different ways. This talented chef, multi-award winning, who used to run his own restaurants, he is now actually involved very heavily in a role in a charity called DENS, Dance, without the E at the end, DENS. And it's actually one of the charities that also has a food bank that's supported by the Trussell Trust. Remember from the sausage roll story, Roxanne? It's supported by that. And he's involved organising their projects. They've got a bike project, a catering project, a coffee project, and it's all for the homeless in his own local area. Generosity can take many, many forms. And generosity shows up on our own tables too. The sharing, the caring, the nurturing side of the food we provide to ourselves and to our families or loved ones that we are with. The laden tables at celebrations, and this year the lesser laden tables for smaller celebrations. Generosity is just not only about the food we put on the table, the laden table. The generosity in food is also about the time that we allow ourselves to take out of our busy lives to make time to cook, to make time to share, nurture, and care through food for ourselves and our loved ones. And we don't always prioritize taking out that time to enable that generosity to ourselves, to take the time to cook. And it won't happen every day, but maybe a few times a week, make it a special occasion. Generosity comes in so many different ways. Even in these time of, oh yeah, we're all zoomed out. But honestly, I enjoy Zooms with my friends where we decide we're going to cook this particular recipe. And the first one we did during the first lockdown was lockdown 1.0, as it's probably known now, was something called belladonna surprise. It was actually my friend's recipe. And we decided we're going to cook it together, as in separate together. We'd start at a certain time so that once we started Zooming, we were just at the end, and then we could sit down and share the same meal as if we were in the same room, have a glass, have a chat. We're going to do the same thing tomorrow. I don't think we've decided on the dish yet. It might well be belladonna surprise again. But we're going to cook, agree when we're going to be finished cooking-ish, sit down, have a meal, wish each other a happy new year, and be generous with our time to each other, sharing and caring whilst we enjoy cooking together, food together. This is a different year, but let's look ahead. Let's look ahead and enjoy the things we did do right, the things we did get right in our kitchens, the way we have been generous with our time, with our food, with our cooking, in our communities, whichever way. I have a feeling we all have contributed something that more than we might have done in previous year. So on that note, enough of my rambling again, tomorrow I'm going to talk about oliebollen, Maggie, and cancer. So I'm hoping that you will join me then. And until such time, have a great day, have a great evening wherever you are, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.